Good morning, Believe Nation. Today's message is be yourself. Over to you, Freddie Mercury.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
I'd like to feel that after all these years, I'm myself at every given point. When I'm on stage, that's Freddie Mercury. When I'm off stage, I'm Freddie Mercury. And that's the only way to be. I mean, the days have gone where I actually felt that when I was on stage, when I came off, I still had to sort of portray that Freddie Mercury image because of other people. I used to do that before because you have to grow up and you have to understand. You have to really come to grips with success. And over the years, I found out that you can become a very, very lonely person if you have to do that. And I'm not afraid when I come off stage to actually be myself.
So this is a message I've been hearing more and more and more on the channel from the famous entrepreneurs that I've been paying attention to. And I think it's so important. I think you have to be yourself because everybody else is taken. You're not going to have success being a copy of somebody else. I remember watching a video of Jay-Z, Warren Buffett, and the guy from Forbes. And he was asking Jay-Z, do you ever get intimidated being around Warren Buffett and being around these guys in suits? You know, you walk into a boardroom, you're from the streets. Do you ever get intimidated? And he's like, no. He's like, why not? And he said, because I'm myself. Wherever I go, I'm myself. And there's so much confidence that brings when you're not trying to be somebody else, that when you go into any situation, any room, whether it's super outside your comfort zone or not, that you have the confidence that you are awesome and you bring that everywhere you go. And what often happens when you're first trying to discover yourself, I think at the start of any process, you look up to people, you model success, right? You learn from them. You want to be the next Steve Jobs, so you copy some of the things from him. At some point, you have to figure out, okay, I'm going to not be the next Steve Jobs, but I'm going to be the best me, and I'm going to pull different pieces to allow that to happen. And when you start experimenting, a lot of times what happens is you go backwards. This is what happened actually at Toronto Dance Salsa. You know, I'm encouraging all my instructors that you need to discover yourself. This is how I teach it. This is how, you know, somebody else may teach it. You have to teach the same moves that come out in class, but the way you teach it, the stories you tell, the energy and vibe that you bring has to be different because you can't be me. You can have the same message if you want, if that's something you believe in, but even that, how you deliver it, how you execute it, the vibe you bring will be different. If you try to be me, you're always gonna fail. You're always gonna fall short of what you can do because you're not actually being yourself, you're being a copy of somebody else. And so at the start, to figure out what it is that you stand for, and your one word helps you with that process, understand what you stand for, and then start applying some ideas into your business, into your life. I want to add more believe to my life. What does that look like? What does that look like in my videos? What does that look like in my relationships? And at the start, it may not work. You may try something and it doesn't work. And you need to experiment and have the confidence and the courage that you are awesome and you're going to figure it out. And that the only way you are going to win, the only way, the game that you're playing in life, in business, the only way you're going to win is if you go all in on you, on the awesomeness that is you. Believe that what you have inside you is special and amazing and start applying it. Radical self-expression in whatever way that comes out. It's the only way you're gonna win. Stop just trying to copy somebody else. Go all in on you. So the question today is, I'd love to hear a story of how you went all in on yourself. Leave it down in the comments below. I'm curious to find out. I also want to give a quick shout out to Kevin Lee. Kevin, thank you so much for picking up a copy of my book, Your One Word. I really, really appreciate the support. It means a lot to me, and I hope you're enjoying the read. Thank you guys again for watching. I believe in you. Hope you continue to believe in yourself and whatever your one word is. Much love, and I'll see you again tomorrow morning for another shot of Espresso.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
Don't become like a cult.
Yeah.
Like, don't just like me.
Yeah.
Be a fan of everyone. You can like Rihanna's music and mine and Gaga's. It's okay. You don't have to be like, I'm a Jessie J fan. You know, and my mum and dad would never let me put posters on the wall because they were like, be you, be inspired, but don't become anyone else.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is why I think as an artist, I was very, very... The one thing that I was very proud of was when I first came out, that no one compared me to anyone.
Yeah.
I think you can tell when someone's idolised somebody sometimes. And I think it's good to be inspired, but Don't become somebody.
Yeah,
Be yourself.
Just always be yourself. Always. Whatever people say about you, whatever people believe that is true, that isn't about you, trust me, life is not worth living feeling sad and down and lonely. Just always be true to who you are.
I was always a class clown, and it's kind of weird and shit. And it's kind of like, I've always been an outcast because they never me. I know we're the outcast. I mean, if you listen to the music, or just us in general, like you met me in person. I'm just serious now, but I'm always jumping around. I'm surprised I've sat down still this long, but we've always been outcasts and shit. And it's kind of cool because this is what's going to make us great in the future. At the end of the day, throughout all the jokes or bullshit or whatever, it's always be yourself. That's one thing that I'm like, just do what the like. That's what I try to tell people, just to do what the they want and impress some others. And that's why at the end of the day, I'm always gonna make the music I wanna make. Like people get so caught up in like making their first album, like Bastard, like was pretty successful. And people are like, oh shit, I hope he makes something like that, but I can't. It's progression. I'm in a whole different mind state. I'm having a fucking interview right now. I wasn't having that shit a year ago, so I'm gonna make the music that I wanna make now. That sounds cool to me. Who knows? I might end up doing coke and being a drug addict 2 years from now and making some off-the-wall music. At the end of the day, I'm gonna like it, and I think that's one of the main reasons why people feel us, because we do what we want.
Again, it goes back to a bit of what Warren was saying as well. Like, it's the discipline as well, the discipline to not get caught up in the moment. You know, music is like stocks too. You know, there's the hot thing of the moment. You know, there's this hot electro sound, or the hot auto-tune voice, or the hot whatever's new and exciting, and you know, people tend to make emotional decisions based on that. They don't stick with what they know. This is who I am. This is what I do. And then they, jump on this next hot thing, and it's not for you. So for me, just having the discipline and having the confidence that in who I am, and if I go into a studio and if I find my truth of the moment, there are a number of people in the world that can relate to what I'm saying, and it's gonna buy into what I'm doing. Not because it's the new thing of the moment, but because it's my genuine emotions. It's how I feel. It's how I articulate the world. And, just having the discipline to just, be yourself.